Good day, this is Dave Hodgson with another topical weekly wind-up on KLTV. Our guest this week, well, let's face it, most of you will know her already. She co-presents the programme, but this time she's here in her other professional capacity. Helen Ashcroft from Purple Dog Training. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you.
Now, how did you come up with the name Purple Dog?
Well, it's quite interesting. We actually decided to start a company for a couple of reasons, and I'll come to that in a minute, but we needed a name, and we needed a name that people would remember and that didn't actually tie us into anything in particular, because we do deliver an awful lot of different courses: first aid, health and safety consultancy, food safety. What sort of a name could we have? And it was an off-the-cuff remark from somebody, and they said Purple Dog, and I thought, I really like that. And so it's a name that's stuck. It was what, well, we decided back in 2011, and it's been with us ever since.
So where did the original concept come from to do all this? Because, I mean, they're all well related, but unless you think of them, they sometimes don't mesh together, do they?
No, they don't. Initially, the first aid came about because of something happened to Steve. Now, Steve is my partner and business partner. And when he was a lot younger, his best friend at the time had a daughter, and unfortunately his daughter stopped breathing. Now, this was down to a medical condition, and there wasn't anything that could be done, but Steve tried his best. But what he realised was the course that he'd done to help people save lives wasn't effective in the real life instance, because the person that had taught him had read from a book. So it didn't actually give him the confidence that he needed to actually do what he needed to do.
First do no harm sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, first aid is ever so important. What does a first aider do, if that's not too big a question to answer in 3 hours?
How long have we got?
3 minutes.
Basically,
No,
fair enough. Basically, a first aider saves lives, and we work under the principle of the 3 Ps. We preserve that person's life, we prevent the situation getting any worse, and we promote recovery. And it's that time between the incident happening and the incident being dealt with, or help arriving. And that's what the first aider does. Now, I do know that the first aider in my world is more important than the doctor who then comes along afterwards, because if the first aider doesn't do what they should be doing, the doctor has nothing to work with. So the first aider is the first person there, and so it's really important that they do have that skill and that understanding in that situation to know what to do and what the next steps are.
Yeah, looking from an employment perspective, first for the employer, how, I mean, it's easy, yes, I'm a first aider. How does the employer know that that person is qualified to do proper first aid, and how does your company come into it?
Okay, well, every employer has to do what's called a first aid needs assessment, and that's something that we provide as a company for free. This enables the employer to make sure that they're meeting the legal requirements. So they assess the need for their specific workplace and work out how many first aiders they need and what level this first aider needs to be trained in. And then they come along to us. And there are different courses, there are different levels, but all our courses are under awarding bodies. And so we work with a number of awarding bodies that are all established and regulated, and so we have to be the same. We have to make sure that we're top of our game. And I have to say, just because of the way I am, I won't settle for anything less than exemplary. So when people come out and assess us, we have to be top.
However large or small your business, attracting new customers requires dedication and a lot of patience. Just like fishing, but you also need the right gear. Rods,
reels, lines, hooks, sinkers, lures, tackle box, tackle bag, net, bait, gas gloves, clothes, pocket knife, wrench.
or you could simply advertise with KLTV. Online, grow your business and your clientele. KLTV, your vision made reality. Should have gone to KLTV.
And then, if you are top, you get the certificate, don't you? Or do they give you
Yeah,
a certificate?
well, we get a certificate.
It's nice to be able to have one, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, certainly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have the certificates
Yeah.
to show that we're under these awarding bodies.
Yeah.
But the learners that have taken part of the courses that we run, they also get a certificate, which is valid for 3 years. And this is something that's really important. If you don't use the skills, this can soon get forgotten. And so what the HSE stands for, Health and Safety Executive,
Yeah.
is to make sure that the health and safety and welfare of the employees and the employer is all in place. So they actually recommend that every 12 months people do an annual refresher just to make sure that they're up to date with the
Things
skills.
move on, don't they?
Totally.
And sometimes different. I said, no, we've done that all these years. Actually, what we should be doing is this.
Yes.
And you've got to be on top of that, haven't
Yeah,
you?
and I think the thing is, people panic as well about first aid. They think, oh my goodness, what happens if I get it wrong?
Yeah.
What people have to remember is first aid is common sense, really, with a few tweaks. If somebody's bleeding, you're not going to let them carry on bleeding, or you hope that they're
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
You're going to hope that they're going to do something about it.
Yeah.
But it's how we do it professionally
Yeah.
that's the tweak to it.
Yeah. It can't harm your employment prospects in having a certificate like this, can
No, not at all, because it is a duty that the employer has to do. So if somebody comes along and has already got one of these qualifications, then obviously it's saved the employer money.
Yeah. Now, with a bit of doom and gloom, the prospect of Huddersfield Royal's A&E closing, businesses may start to need more people, won't they?
Well, I don't know about the businesses because they should have things in place anyway. But what we also have started to do is run first aid courses for parents and grandparents. Because although we can't take away the fear of something happening, baby choking or a head injury occurring, what we can do is take away the fear of knowing what to do about it. Because that's the main thing. What do you do in that instance when something's happened? What are you going to do to make sure that that individual is safe?
Right. Well, lastly, I should be saying, supposing somebody said, yes, that is for me, how do they approach to get on a course?
Right, if they're interested in coming and having a chat with us here at Purple Dog, we do have our website, which is www.purpledogltd.co.uk.
And there's also a taster because you run an ad on KLTV, don't you?
Ah, yes, of course, and it's a brilliant ad. And of course, on the ad, you get to hear from some of our learners.
Indeed.
Because it's no good me sitting here and saying, you know, we do this and we do this. You've no idea how we actually do it. So watching the advert, absolutely brilliant. It's a brilliant advert you did for us. Thank you.
That's great. My thanks to Helen Ashcroft for today's information. Remember, if you want to comment on this or any topic, please email us get on Twitter and on Facebook. Thanks to KLTV crew for producing the programme, but especially to you for choosing KLTV as your source of local information. Dave Hodgson waving you a cheery goodbye. Join KLTV next week for more weekly wind-up. Bye for now.